Today we're going to be starting chapter number 2, addition within 10,000. The learning objective is going to be I can use addition strategies and algorithm to add numbers within 1,000. So let's start with a little problem. So one of the first things we need to remember is addition, the vocabulary for addition. So some of the words that tell us we may be adding is the word sum, add, total, all, altogether, combine, put together, join, and. Now, the first thing we're going to do is read the problem that we have. And after reading the problem, we're going to try to figure out what they're trying for us to do. So let's read the problem. The problem says, Mr. Long bought a shirt for $15 and had $42 left. How much money did he have at first? Now, the first thing I need to do is underline the question. How much money did he have first? Now, that means they want to find the total. So if they want to find the total, that means that for sure I'm going to be doing addition. Now, the other thing I noticed is that Mr. Long bought a shirt for $15. So I'm going to underline this word, $15, and that he has $42 left. Now, I'm going to represent that with bar model. So this is going to be the value of the shirt, $15. And then he's going to have $42 left. Now, when I put this together, because I'm putting them together, I'm going to say all together, or I'm putting together, I'm combining. I know that this problem is going to be addition. So the question says that the shirt was $15 and he has $42 left. And they want to know how much money he had at first before spending this $15. So that means I have to put this together. Now, in the math language, we say that $15 is a part. This is a part. And this $42 is another part. So what we're trying to find is the whole. And the whole, we don't know it. So this is the way we're going to represent the problem. Now, to solve the problem, we're going to add, because we're putting together. And so we're going to write a number sentence. My number sentence is going to say 15 plus 42 equals my total. Now let's represent this problem with the base 10 blocks. Now in this place value chart, we have represented the $15 and the $42. Now we have this in a number sentence and in an algorithm. Now remember, when we are adding, we always start in the ones, and then we're going to start in the tens. Now we're going to line up the numbers first, and then we're going to add them. So remember, add means put them together. So let's put them together. And when we put them together, we're going to count how many of each. Now, when we put them together, we have 7 ones. So let's type that here, 7 ones. And then we're going to do the tens. So now we have before 1 10 plus 4 tens is going to make 5 tens. So let's put the answer here and let's check it. Now that we did that, let's go back and represent the problem in a place value chart. So here we will write the $15 plus the $42. Now remember, again, we're adding the ones first and the tens later. So 5 plus 2 ones makes 7 ones, and 1 10 and 4 tens makes 5 tens. So the answer to my problem is going to be 57. When we go back to our problem, we're going to do the same, but in a number sentence. So we do first 5 ones plus 2 ones makes 7 ones, and 1 10 plus 4 tens makes 5 tens. Now we have the answer to our problem. The problem says how much money total did he have at first? Then we write the answer statement. Mr. Lang had at first $57. And that's going to be the answer to our problem. Now let's look at the next problem. The next problem says Simon has 136 baseball cards. He receives another 452 baseball cards. How many cards does he have in all? Now, once we read the problem, remember, we're going to underline the question. How many cards does he have in all? Now we're going to read the question again, and this time we're going to start by writing the sentence statement, which is going to be, you are going to cross the question, how many, and the verb does, the auxiliary verb does, and using cards he have in all, we're going to write the sentence, the answer statement. So I'm going to say he, because we have he here, has blank cards in all. Now that I have my sentence statement, I'm going to represent my problem. So if I want to know how many cards he has in all, I have to know first that he has, at the beginning, he had 136 baseball cards. Now I'm going to represent that with a bar. Here it is, 136 cards. And then he's going to receive another 452 baseball cards. Now, because he's receiving more cards, that means we have to put together the ones he had at the beginning and the ones he got at the end. And because we're putting these cards together, that means we're putting all together, we're combining, we're putting together, we're trying to find the total. And all those actions are telling me I'm going to be adding. So the other thing I have to remember that we are called this is the part. This is another part. And when I put them together, I'm trying to find the whole. And the whole, that's what we don't know, because this part is 136, this part is 452, and together, that's how I'm going to find my answer. Now, let's put that together in a place value chart. Now, if you notice, we have here the 136 baseball cards Simon had at the beginning, and these are the 452 cards that he got later. Now, when we put them together, the first thing we're going to do is line them up together, and then we're going to start combining them. So I'm going to add them, and that means we're going to put them all together. Now, when we start counting, we have here 2, 4, 6, 8. So we always start in the ones, and we have 8 ones in all. Now let's see the tens. We had 3, and then we put 5 more, and together the total is going to be 8 tens. And finally, we had 100 and 400s. When we put them together, it's going to become 5. So my answer is going to be 588. Let's check the answer. See, we got it right. Now let's do that in a place value chart. Now we have the same problem, but this time we have the algorithm. And remember, when we're adding, we have to make sure that we align the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. And we always start working in the ones. So let's start adding the ones. 6 plus 2 makes 8. 3 plus 5 makes 8. And 100 plus 400 makes 500. So my answer is going to be 588. Now let's transport that to our problem at the beginning of the lesson. Now let's finish the problem we started at the beginning. So we were saying that we are going to put 136 plus 452 baseball cards equals, and then remember, we always start with the ones. So we have 6 ones plus 2 ones makes 8 ones. 3 tens plus 5 tens makes 8 tens. And 100 plus 400 makes 500. Now we can do the same, remember, with the algorithm. This is called a number sentence. So this is a number sentence. Now let's do the algorithm. So we add the same numbers, 136 plus 452. Now remember to align the numbers always, the ones with the ones, the tens with the tens, and the hundreds with the hundreds, ones, tens, and hundreds. So 6 ones plus 2 ones is 8 ones. 3 tens plus 5 tens is 8 tens. And 100 plus 400 makes 500. So the answer to my problem is going to be that Simon, has 588 cards in all. Now let's move to a problem that it's addition again, but this time it's going to be with regrouping. Let's solve the last problem. Store A sold 176 fruit bars. Store B sold 286 fruit bars. How many fruit bars did they sell in all? Now remember, the first thing we're going to do is underline the question. How many fruit bars did they sell in all? Now we usually cross the question words, how many, and the auxiliary verb did. Now we're going to use the words that are left to write this answer statement. We have fruit bars they sell in all. So we start with the subject, which is they. So I'm going to cross it and I'm going to put here they. They. Now because did is in the past tense, the verb is going to become in the past tense. Instead of sell, I'm going to put sold. Fruit bar, blank, fruit bars in all. In all. Now I have my answer statement and I need to start working on solving the problem. So let's use the bars to represent the problem. So this bar is going to represent the 176 fruit bars. And this bar is going to represent the 285 bars. Now, because here says that they have, this is store A has 176 fruit bars and store B has 286 fruit bars. And they want to know how many in all, this is important, in all, here it is all, we're putting them together, we're combining them, we're joining them. That means we have to add. And the same as we have done before, we have to show that this is the part from store A, this is the part from store B, and because it has to be a P because it's a part, and because we want to put them all together, we're trying to find out the whole. So when we're trying to find the whole, we're going to use addition. So we're going to add these two numbers to find out what is the total. Let's represent this with base 10 blocks. Now we have here represented the 176 fruit bars from store A and 286 fruit bars from store B. Because we want to know how many are there in all, the first thing we're going to line them up. And then we're going to start adding, but this time we need to regroup. Because remember, every time we get 10 of these, we have to put them together and form a new 10. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's regroup those so we can solve our problem. Now let's press the add button to see how the numbers are changing. Now if you notice, now I have all the ones together, all the tens together, and all the hundreds together. Now I have a problem here because in the ones I only can have the most 9 ones because every time I get 10 ones, I'm going to do what we call regroup. So we're going to make these 10 ones, we're going to make them into another 10. So let's do that. Now if you notice, we have only 2 ones left. So I'm going to type that number because we have 2 ones left. Now that I did the ones, I have to do the tens. Now the same happens here. Every time I get 10 tens, I'm going to get 100, so I have to regroup them and put them in the 100. So let's count together. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So all these are going to combine together to become another 100, and we're going to have 6 tens left. So let's regroup them to see that. So now after regrouping, we only have 6 tens left. So let's write them down here. 6 tens left. And then now we have one more 100 here. We had 3 before. We had 2 before, and now we have 4. So let's put that 4 here, because these ones we cannot regroup. So my answer is going to be 462. Let's check it. Now let's do that on paper. Now, as usual, we're going to start always adding in the ones. Now let's add. 6 plus 6 makes 12 ones. But we know that when we're talking about ones, we cannot have 2 digits here. It's only 1 digit at all times. So that means we have more ones that we need. So this 1 is going to become a 10. How do I know that? Because number 12 is made out of 2 numbers. It's made out of a 10 and a 2. This is a number bond. So the 2 is going to stay in the ones, and this 10, which is this one, has to go to the tens place. So I'm going to put that 1, I'm going to put it all the way up here on the tens, because I have one more 10. So now I have 1 10 that I regroup, plus 7 makes 8, plus 7 tens. Now 8 tens plus another 8 tens is going to do 16 tens. Now we have the same problem here. We cannot have 2 digits in the tens place. So what we're going to do is regroup it. So these 6 tens are going to stay here, and these 10 tens are going to move to the hundreds place, and I'm going to add them here. So now I'm going to tell that 100 plus 100 makes 200, and 200 plus 200 makes 400. So the answer to my problem is going to be 462. Let's go back to the program so we can finish everything. As we said before, we have to do our addition. So we're going to add 176. Remember, this is the number sentence. (166) plus 286. Now, remember, let's add the ones first. 6 plus 6 is 12. I put the 2, that is the ones, and the one of the 12s, I put it on the tens. I do 7 plus 1, 8, plus 8, 16. I put the 6 here, and the one of the 16 is 16 tens, so it's going to become 100. So I put it in the hundreds place. Now 100 plus 100 is 200, plus 200 is going to make 400. We can do the regular algorithm, which is 286 plus 462. Remember, ones with ones, tens with tens, and hundreds with hundreds. Now this time I'm going to leave more space on the top so we can regroup and show the regrouping here. Ones, tens, and hundreds. So I put the numbers wrong. Let me fix it. 176 plus 286. Now 6 plus 6 makes 12. The 2 in the ones and the 1 in the tens. Now 1 10 plus 7 tens is 8 tens, plus 8 tens is going to make 16. The 6 here and the 1 here, so it's still 16. 16 tens. Now these 10 tens become 100. 100 plus 100, 200, plus 200, 400. So if you notice, my answer is the same. So now I have to complete my sentence. They sold 462 fruit bars in all. So I'm hoping this lesson helps you remember what you learned in 2nd grade. See you next time.